Alright, so it's a very hot Saturday, very hot out. About to take out these Torx. I have like 3 different Torx, couldn't find any when I needed one, but I found this little one here, which is kind of rusty. It's an old Mako one I had. I'll go ahead and pull this panel piece off. Guest quest on this digital dash cluster. I got the power probe with me. I'm going to test a few things behind the panel here once I pull it off. I'm looking for certain power points in that, and yep, this is a cool tool. I would have loved to show Dev. Obviously I can't do that now, but I'm going to do this as an honor to him, my buddy. I know he was excited for me when I got this, and probably would have been very happy to see me get this done here. So let me go ahead and take some of these Torx out here, pull this panel off, set this camera down. This should take, here I am, I'm on the last one now. Okay, that's it, that's the cover. T15, and you got 8 of them comes out, and then this little cover comes off. Okay, now I need to go get another tool so I can get these other 2 little 10s out down at the bottom down there, and that cluster's going to come out there. That's going to be a 5.5. What's this? Here's an inch. Okay, here I am. I got the trim panel off. I got my power probe here with me, and I'm checking spots behind here at every one of these clusters to see what type of power I got going on. We'll make a detailed little layout of where the power's at. I was quite amused with this. Check this out, you can see that a cobweb had built it up in the in this trim piece here where my covering the fuel gauge. I couldn't believe it. I never even noticed that little cobweb was going on in there. But back to what I'm getting at here. As you can see, I got one of these worn tumblers, so I could turn the key forward without the key as long as it's been unlocked. Once it locks, it won't turn forward, but with it out, it still turns forward. I guess it's time for a new ignition, but I'm used to it anyways. I use one of these snazzy guys anyways, just for backup in case I would forget to lock it forward or to pull it all the way back. Column lock, but it does lock anyways. I'm going to show you this power probe's on there, and I got it right on the temp gauge. Even though the temp gauge ain't, you got to use your own sender from the factory for the digital cluster for it to work, and they don't want you using the car's factory cluster, single, whatever I guess. But hold on here, let me turn this on. What kind of power do we have here? There we go. We got 11.4 volts coming right out there. Okay, I'm going to do that with every one of these gauges. That's how I'm going to try to check them all and see what type of readings I'm getting. Sorry for that, I had the radio on last time it came on, I turned the key on. Alright, and as you can see, 11.3, let me turn this off. Yep, as you can see, the voltage went away. I mean, see, it's locked. I got one of these worn tumblers. Okay, here I am. Since they wanted me to ground this thing to the block, I choose right there for now as a quick ground. It was easy to get to. I know I need an eye for that, or an end, a connector end, so it don't look too pretty with the wire just wrapped around there like that. And it is bolted down. I did loosen it up and bolted this down, so it is bolted. I just threaded a lot of wire and wrapped it around there pretty good and tightened it in. And then I ran out all the way down into this little corner here. There's a hole right here. I think it's naturally where the hood cable would go through. It's little rubber ends out of it anyways, and I've always ran wires right through that spot. In fact, I'll show you where it comes through inside the car, if we can still see some sunlight coming through up there. Okay, there it is. See that hole where the light's coming through? I got a bunch of wires streaming through there right now. But that's it. That's where I ran that through. I ran the ground through there, and I got it quickly grounded to the cluster unit, or the digital display, I should say. I was power probing, finding ground points for the other sensors, and so far I got, that's my key on power right there. You see it's coming off the old alternator I guess connection there, contact, whatever, where the gauge would be at. That's where the alternator went to, and that obviously when that key's on you get 12 volts, and it starts up. Of course, no matter what, your 12 volts is going to change because you got the alternator that kicks in. So I use it as my 12 volt plus power supply on. And as you can see, I've already took the yellow wire to where the fuel gauge would be at and got that going, so that works. And I did jump down to here for my oil sensor, which goes to this, what they call the orange wire in the directions, but it looks pink to me. I got this white wire jumped all the way out there. I'll show you this. Got the white wire going directly to the top of the gauge. Okay, or not the gauge, I mean the oil sender, so pressure sender, which usually works at gauge. Now when I connected it in here, I thought it was incorrect. That's why I did that the long way. So I'm going to show you right now. You could do it just this way too, because it's easier. It's less wiring. I'm going to key this on. Okay. You see, so far I got fuel reading, and I got the electrical reading. The H2O, obviously the temp. That's not hooked up yet, so that's just pegging where it wants to peg, and nothing else is hooked up but the electrical and the oil and the fuel. Oh, let me turn that down again. Okay, I'm going to start it up, see what we got going on so far. See, it's reading 97 on the oil pressure, 96. I thought that was incorrect at first, so that's why I ran the wire from the gauge all the way directly to the sender itself, just to make sure it's correct. Now I'm going to show you what happens. I'll disconnect it here. Okay, it went to 99 automatically. Alright. I guess this thing's just not real, you know, I expected it to say like 60 or something, but 99 is what it's reading. I'm going to take it to the ground in here, which is this lower one from when I power probed it. Okay, see it still says 99, okay, because it's unplugged outside on the old sender. So let me unplug the white wire. At. I'm staring at the screen here, and so I can unplug this now from here. Let's see, it'll go back to 99. Plug it in. 97. Got key off. Key on, it's 0. Start her up. There you go. Okay, so that is where you're going to want to run your oil one to. Save you some extra wiring all the way out to that sensor, or that sender. Just run it straight to there, and that should be it. Like I said, that reading is a little weird to me. 94, 97 is like high, but I guess that's how they designed this cluster. I guess low would be like when it starts dipping down in 60 or something now. But so far, I got them 3 going. I got 3 of the gauges licked. I got oil, electrical obviously works with the unit, and that's like my key on, like I said. And I showed you where I put that at. That's right there to power up the cluster. And the yellow wire for the fuel, as you can see it right there. That yellow wire is doing the fuel. Another quick bit on it before I put this all in here. I just want to show you one more time. Orange wire to there, red wire to there, yellow wire to there, and blue wire to there. Okay, that's 4 wires on the back of this unit that already got a home now, and they go where they need to be. The purple wire, like I said, is for the dimmer. I'm not going to use it. That leads me down to the gray wire. And the black wire, like I said, you already know that's going to the block. That's my ground wire. Got that out there at the engine. Okay. This gray wire is going to go to the white wire on the pickup of the new sending speedometer unit for the transmission. And this is this white wire right here. I got it going to that gray wire. Now I'm going to run this down to that sensor that I install on my transmission. Okay, that takes care of the gray wire. And the only other wire left is that green wire right here, this green wire. This green wire is going to go to the negative side of the coil, the ignition coil out there on the engine. I will show you where I have them at as soon as I tuck all this up in here. Like I said, it's now this is pretty explanatory for you guys out there who want to install one of these. Go ahead and do all this. You'll have pretty much half the unit already in. You'd be down to 2 wires, the one to the transmission, the one to the ignition coil. Like I said, and the black wire is going to the block. There are 2 other wires on that sensor that goes on the transmission. That's a ground, and the other one's a positive lead. So I'll have to run that other wire back up here to get to another hot spot, but to another key on. But I'll do that off my fuse box or something. Alright guys, here I am. I ran that green wire, which now is a blue wire because the wire I got was blue that I bought. I should have bought colored green, but I failed there. But anyways, there's a red and white wire coming out of your coil here. I went to the white wire. Okay, and then that blue wire is ran and it goes down into the same hole there. And as you'll see now, hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. As you can see, there we go. Okay, so I'm down to 1 wire. I've just got to hook up the mile per hour part on the speedometer. Sick. I'm loving it. It's looking pretty good in there. Almost done, guys. Almost done. Like I said, 1 more part to go. And now I'll give you guys an update. My temperature's up to 145 now. Said hopefully that's accurate because I'm using the factory gauge and not the one they supplied. But if worse comes to worse, I feel it's off, then I will get a wire and I'll run it. I'll run it all the way up to that, sensor and hook their style in there. But anyway, so far the factory one seems to be working it. Fuel's at 50%. That's about where I was at, and electric, of course, is charging. So not bad. Alright guys, so here I am at the last part, and all I gotta do is hook up this speedometer part, and I'm under the car now. And like I said, I just had a good buddy lost his life from similar thing, being underneath a car like this. He had it on jack stands, and anyways, I got the jack there, got a stand there and a stand there, so I should be alright, and hopefully I will be, but if not, then I'll be with my best friend again. But anyways, here I am up here, and I just twisted this off for the speedometer. This is where the cable goes into the transmission, and pull that out of there. Okay, now I'm just going to leave this cable under here. I'll zip tie it to the frame here later on down the road so I don't end up falling out and dragging on me. I got to screw that little sensor in that they supplied us with, or anybody gets one of these kits. Alright guys, it's night. Finally done with this digital dash display from Intellitronix here. It's all in. Had a problem with the speedometer gear though, but everything works. Hang on here. Every now and then I'm getting a little hard starting to change my plugs, but yeah, this is it. I'm gonna take off and drive here. They said I don't know how long this speedometer part's gonna hold up for me.